He secretly watches everyone in their room until he witnesses a heinous crime. Hello, and welcome back to the story. Today we will be making a recap of a 2020 movie titled The Night Clerk. Warning, there will be some spoilers ahead, so watch at your own risk and enjoy. The story begins with a guy named Bart, who has Asperger Syndrome and is stalking people through hidden cameras. He tries mimicking their behavior and talking. He watches a mom trying to handle her kids and a man getting ready. He practices talking like them because he is a socially awkward guy. His mom calls him for lunch. Bart lives in the basement of his mom's house, and he even has her on CCTV. His mom leaves the plate on the basement stairs, and Bart, while eating, observes his mother and replicates her actions. Bart gets in the car and heads to work. He works as a night clerk in a hotel. After parking, he meets his boss, who tries to make small talk, but Bart is awkward and doesn't talk much. He goes to sit at his desk and tries to kill some time because the hotel is not busy. He walks here and there, looks at magazines, and even lies down under his desk. But just then, a lady named Karen walks in asking for a reservation with the name Peretti, her last name. Bart has good observation skills. He notices the high-quality jewelry and the way she is talking, assuming she comes from wealth and has manners. He upgrades her to a higher-quality room, and Karen thanks him. It turns out that the room has a hidden camera installed. Bart starts watching her in her robe. A while later, a man arrives and seems shocked to see her in the room. Just then, another receptionist comes and startles Bart. He shuts the tablet. The receptionist assumes he was watching a dirty video. Bart goes home and sits down to eat ice cream while watching Karen. It looks like Karen is having an affair with this man, and they later go into argument. He starts beating Karen aggressively, and a pistol drops from her bag. Bart panics and rushes over to the hotel to save her. He parks his car and enters the hotel. The receptionist sees his car being parked weirdly. A loud noise of a gunshot can be heard. The receptionist comes into the room and sees Bart sitting on the bed, with Karen dead on the floor. The receptionist tells Bart to stay still while he calls the cop. Bart takes out all the hidden camera's SD cards but leaves one behind. In the morning, a detective named Espada is on the scene. The detective is interrogating the hotel owner and is asking about Bart. The owner says he has been here for the last 3 years without any complaints. He is smart even with his condition. Espada walks up to Bart. Bart says he stopped to get ice cream, then went home to watch TV. He later realized that he had left his wallet at the hotel and went back to get it. Despite his condition, Bart is able to answer all of the detective's questions perfectly in detail. But when the detective asks how did he pay for his ice cream if he didn't have his wallet, Bart doesn't have an answer to this. He is taken to the police station where Espada is talking to his fellow detective Nick, who turns out to be Karen's husband. Nick says that Karen had a small pistol for self-defense, but he is confused what Karen is doing at a hotel in the middle of the night. Bart's mother rushes into the station arguing with the detective. She takes Bart with her and says next time she will bring her lawyer. After reaching home, she asks if Bart knows anything. She says she will protect him no matter what. Bart, without answering, bows down for a kiss and heads to his basement. In the next scene, we see the detective looking into Bart's condition. Bart, in his basement, goes through the footage again. This time he notices a half-visible tattoo on the man's arm that looks like a bird. Bart's boss relocated him to a different hotel. One night, a girl named Andrea walks in and talks to Bart, understanding he has a condition. She talks patiently, then leaves for her room. Bart even has a hidden camera in his tie. He plugs in the camera to watch himself talking to Andrea. He gets attracted to her. The next morning, Bart notices someone is spying on him, most probably Espada. He panics and enters a grocery store where he bumps into Andrea. They both start talking. He mentions his condition, but Andrea comforts him saying her brother had the same thing, but had even worse effects. Her brother passed away. She calls Bart smart and brave. Bart, getting comfortable with her, says he observes people and tries to repeat their actions. Later, we see Bart counting his memory cards, and he finds out that one is missing. Unfortunately, Espada already found the card and watched the clip. Karen's husband tells him to arrest Bart because he is the prime suspect in this. But the detective explains that the footage only covers the legs, and they don't have any solid evidence. The detective calls in the other receptionist and asks if he knows anything. The receptionist says when he came to swap shifts, he saw Bart watching a video that looked like one of their hotel rooms, but thought it was an adult movie. At night, we see Andrea coming into the hotel again. Before leaving, Bart tells her that he fixed the AC in her room, but in reality, he placed his cameras. She goes to her room while Bart watches her drink and rest. She then goes into the pool. While swimming, she gets startled to see Bart holding out a towel. He explains that the hotel doesn't have a lifeguard, so he stayed nearby. She calls Bart to join her. Bart sits next to her and asks who was the guy who dropped her outside the hotel, whom she kissed before leaving. Andrea smiles and doesn't answer. Instead, she asks Bart if he has a girlfriend. Bart says most people think of him as a stupid, naive, unsophisticated person, so he doesn't have a girlfriend. She asks him what he is thinking about. Bart leans in and kisses Andrea, but soon he panics. Andrea calms him down and says it is okay. She tells him to sit beside her and says loneliness makes us do stupid things. She leans in and kisses Bart. Bart, being comfortable, decides to rest on Andrea's lap. Andrea opens up and says she fell for a guy who is already married. She doesn't know what to do. She says things are getting complicated. To make her feel better, Bart says he can be her lifeguard. On this, Andrea gets teary eyes and says maybe he could. She leaves to get some sleep. The next morning, Bart decides to work on himself for Andrea. He gets a new haircut, new clothes, and a new car. He goes to the hotel to see Andrea, but sees her with a man, the same man who murdered Karen. Bart quickly returns home and finds the cops have taken all of his stuff away from him. The detective asks why his hard drive is empty, to which Bart replies he deletes everything regularly. The detective finds this fishy and asks Bart what he did to Karen. He speculates that maybe both Bart and Karen were lonely, so they decided to make love, but things get out of hand, and he killed her. But frustrated Bart answers in a mocking way, saying he always has a gun in his pocket, just in case the doesn't go right, he can shoot the girl. The detective is not impressed and says this joke is not funny because a woman has died. The cops leave and Bart takes out his secret stash to watch Andrea. He watches the man with Andrea on the bed. Bart is upset and just lies on the bed for the whole day. He doesn't want to go to work, but then his mother encourages him to keep on moving forward. Bart finally takes his meal and joins his mother to eat. Later that night, we see Andrea in a car talking to Nick, Karen's husband. It turns out that Nick is the one having an affair with Andrea, the same man who murdered his own wife. Nick is telling Andrea that it's the only way, and he asks her if she cares what happens to him. Andrea replies she does. The next day, Andrea visits Bart at his house. Bart confesses that he fell in love with her but got heartbroken. Andrea apologizes and says if things were only different. She says she's happy to have met him and promises that she won't bother him anymore. At night, Bart starts up his CCTV cameras to watch Andrea, but he sees Nick is physically assaulting her. Bart leaves in a hurry to save her. He goes into the room to confront Nick, but then gets choked by him. Nick gets overwhelmed and leaves the hotel. Soon, Bart reveals he had hidden cameras to watch her. Andrea gets angry, but also is thankful he saved her. Bart tries to calm her down and says he wants to show something else. At his house, Bart shows her the video of Karen with Nick. Andrea is shocked and asks if Bart has shown it to the police. Bart says it's all in the external hard drive and they don't know he has it. Andrea is tensed up and starts sobbing as she doesn't know what to do. Bart tries to comfort her and suggests she rest. They both cuddle and sleep. After waking up, Bart sees Andrea all dressed up and her suitcases packed. She says she's ready to go, and she asks him to run away with her. Bart walks up to her, and for the first time, he's not having any problem making eye contact with a person. He kisses her, but just then, he wakes up and realizes it was all just a dream. In reality, Andrea left his house, bringing the external hard drive containing evidence. She also left Karen's gun on his bed in the hope that Bart would be the one to blame. Andrea meets up with Nick and handovers the external hard drive. She rides the car and is about to drive away. Bart realizes this and is so heartbroken. Later on, his mother hears a loud gunshot, but she can't get inside the basement. She calls for the cops, and Espada later arrives with other officers. In the basement, he could not find Bart, but he sees a letter from him that says he should have given the proof earlier. The envelope also contains the SD cards. Espada plays the contents and can clearly see how Nick murdered his wife. We later see Andrea and Nick being pulled over by the cops. The movie ends with Bart in a mall, trying to practice the stuff he learned from the videos by greeting different people he meets. Did you like our movie recap? Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. To be updated for new movie recaps, hit the notification bell